White king is under check and both the white rooks are under attack. Here, as a white, obviously you think that you should take the pawn on f4, at least you successfully saved the one rook. But that's not the case because you forget about counting the upcoming check. The brilliant check is queen to d6. It's attacking on the pawn and it's also attacking on the rook. Here, as a white, if you decided to go to the g5 or the g4, then black will take the rook on the f8 and controlling the c8 square. If you decided to go to the f5 or the f3, again queen takes the rook, f8 is a check and still controlling the c8 square. And if king decided to go to the e4, then of course queen to c6 check, controlling the pawn. And now, well, it doesn't matter where you shift your king, black king takes the rook and pawn is still controlled by the queen. Instead of all of this, when king is under check, you let the rook hanging and shift your king to the h4. Here black have two options. He can take the rook on the e3 or the f8. If he decided to take the rook on the e3, then white promote with the queen and rook is defended, and still it's not easy for black to promote because pawn is two steps away from the pawn promotion. And instead of taking the rook on e3, if black king takes the rook on the f8, then there is a chance of mating 5 and it start with white promote with the queen and give the check. King have an option to go to the g7 or the f7. If king decided to go to the g7, well, this is mate in 2. It start with rook to e7 check, king to f6 because opponent king is blocking the important square, and queen to e6 is checkmate. And instead of going to the g7, if king decided to go to the f7, then there is mating 4 with queen to e8 check, king to g7, rook to e7 check, king to h8, queen to c6 check. Black only option is to defend this check with the queen, and queen takes the queen is checkmate.